This is history.
History. Made up as we go along.
Welcome, everyone, to History Improv'ed, where a history expert surprises us improvisers with a historical event that we then act out on the spot. I'm Steve Fate, coming to you via the History Improv'ed mobile unit, or HIMU, here with Trent Edwards.
Hello, hello. How are you enjoying Minnesota?
It is spring in Minnesota. I really do not like spring here. It's just like, This is where, it's gray and dirty and everything, and it's not quite clean yet. But it is getting green very quickly, though. So it is kind of nice, actually. By the time this comes out, it will probably be, very warm and welcoming.
Yes, let's hope. Houston, it remains hot and sweaty and will be for the next 6 months.
So everything is normal then?
Yes.
Okay.
We had a big storm today, some hail, no locusts, no other plagues, though, so we should be fine.
Nice. So for this episode, you brought someone in for us to play with that we had a good time with.
Ronnie Shomo. Yeah, one of my main peeps in the improv world since middle of COVID, when we were just baby improvisers, and we are in Ghost Balloon together. So I had a lot of fun with Ronnie, and it was his first time doing a podcast, I think.
Nice. And our history expert is returning to us by popular demand for another round of fun, Matt Roberto, or as you would say, Matt Roberto.
Matt Roberto, distinguished gentleman of a San Franciscan persuasion.
If you missed last episode, listeners, well, shame on you, but go back and listen to that one too. Matt is a history teacher who teaches ethnic studies and history in San Francisco, and he gave us the event for this episode as well.
So, mes amis, please enjoy.
It's totally awesome!
We're super lucky to have with us this week my Houston-based but Louisiana-bred good buddy and a double-threat comedian, Ronnie Shomo.
Hey!
I'm so glad you could carve out some time to come be our guest performer.
Yeah, no problem.
Are you ready to make history, Ronnie?
I am ready to, make history, experience history, however we're going to do this.
Excellent. You see what I did there, right?
Yes,
Good.
I do.
All right. It's time to check out the Wayback 3000 machine for this episode's historical event.
The event, the Paris Commune of 1871. The major players, General McMahon, Louis Charles, it's French, right? So it's got to be that. Louis Charles Delacluse and Napoleon III.
All right.
I may be phoning a friend already.
Is it Matt? I think I might know a bit about this. Not a lot, just enough to get it horribly wrong.
Ah!
I will make some semi-educated guesses, and we'll see if I'm right on those or if I've totally flubbed it.
We are going to let you endow us then.
Yeah, please do. I don't know anything about this. I can make some inferences based on the location and the word commune, but that's it.
I know there are a couple of key communist guys.
Like Marx, like Karl Marx or something?
Yeah, it's Marx, but I think it's Marx and also, I can't remember his name. Let's go for it.
Yep.
Let's just try and then Matt can laugh at us later. I believe Audrey is standing by with sound effects.
I think so.
Okay, we open on a crowded town hall in Paris. It's all communing. Welcome, gentlemen, to the Paris Commune. In this commune, I just want to make sure that we are all pulling in the same direction. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you my good friend, Karl Marx. Karl, don't be shy.
It is an honor to be here today. I wish my associate Friedrich Engels could be here, but unfortunately he has a cold.
Are you ready to speak to our grand commune about the importance of bonding together under the leadership of the International?
Of course. I authored a manifesto. Did everyone get a copy of the manifesto?
Yes.
Was that the general? Who was that?
Yes, it's me, General McMahon. Hello.
Okay, so if we turn to page 4.
We seem to be skipping over the first 3 pages.
That is just the copyright information.
Oh, not important.
The nice engraving on page 2 done by my buddy Sergey. So page 4, we cover, if you go to paragraph 2, this is what I use to define the International.
The International, the group that we have created throughout Europe to push for a communist future.
Topple the monarchies, yes.
Yes. Topple all of the institutions that keep us down, all of the strong workers and all of the farmers and all of the peasants. We need to bond together.
The workers must unite to bring about change much needed in the world. Does that make sense? I want to make sure. Am I heard in the back?
I think they hear us. I think what they want is we could just kind of edit that a little bit and say, by force,
That is a good idea, actually.
Through the use of weapons, we use the workers to overthrow by force.
Yes, it is very important that we focus on the workers and the peasants, because Mr. Marx, if I recall, I think you only focus on the workers?
Yes, I focus on workers, not military. That is
no, I do not care about the military. The military, I talk about the farmers, the peasants, the landowners, but not the wealthy landowners, the ones that work in the fields and have property, but not enough to squeeze out livelihood.
Now wait just a darn second. If we don't have farmers and peasants, who will feed my soldiers?
This guy always with the soldiers. We do not need soldiers so much as we need a unified force of peasants and workers attacking soldiers. Not your soldiers, of course, Mr. McMahon, but all of the Tsarists' forces and the monarchies of Western Europe as well.
Won't we need our own weapons in which to battle them? It'll be a slaughter. I've fought many battles. We've taken on armies of peasants, and all they had were pitchforks and shovels and hoes and hammers and sickles, and it was a slaughter.
You do make a good point, General. We do need force and weapons.
Thank you.
But we must examine what war. We just witnessed 2 years of the Franks battling the Prussians, and this is not sustainable, as it is said. So what I think what we need to focus on is how do we empower the worker, the international, so that the powers that be do not bring about this type of, as it is said, land grab.
I still worry that you, Mr. Karl Marx, are only focused about the workers. You are not focused about the farmers and the peasants. And you, let us be honest, You want to be the leader of this whole movement. You want control. You are a very proud man.
I have no desire for power.
Well, you also very much focus on hiding whenever the rest of us shed blood in the battles with the hammer and the sickle. You are nowhere to be found, just hiding back in your office.
Ivory Tower. Yes. Ha ha.
Yes, Mr. Academic.
Well, someone has to record for posterity.
You know, if you guys needed a leader to, you know, kind of rally people around, I would be willing to do this. Ha ha.
You do not have the knowledge that even Mr. Karl Marx, he is a smart man. You, I do not trust. I trust Karl Marx more than you.
Well, whatever country that we want to take over by force, I would be willing to take under advisement from the peasants and the workers after, of course, we commandeered their resources.
What?
For the good of everyone. Right? Right, comrades? We'll take everybody's stuff to
Niet.
unite us.
Niet. Oh, I cannot believe you would. You commandeer the resources? You are just like the Tsars. What do you think is happening in Russia? What do you think is happening across this world with the wealthy and the powerful? They take everything from the common man who works and is proud.
I want to help you guys. You give me all of your resources and I'll, put you in power. That's the whole point, right?
Oh.
And I don't know, maybe a military hero that led us to that could be the person that we put in charge at the top or something. I don't know. Maybe they could elect him. That would be fair.
Niet.
We could tell everybody who to vote for.
Niet. That is the opposite of what I have been arguing for this whole time. Who invited this guy? We want to have anarchy, not great new institution led by another despot. We want every man to be respected, to have the means to live a good life and not be beholden to some rich aristocrat. Spit on this idea.
Well, what is your plan then?
There is no plan. That's the point. He's talking about utopias, which are, as we all know, are a fable, right, Karl?
I would like to introduce someone. It is someone that you perhaps are familiar with, especially French, you Frenchmen. Napoleon?
Hello? J'arrive? What do you want?
Earlier, when we were having refreshments, you had indicated that you had an idea to present to us at this commune. Why do you not share it with the general audience?
And the general. Ho ho!
Yes, and the general.
All right.
Big fan of your grandpa.
Bien sûr, bien sûr. Merci, bonhomme. Monsieur le Général.
Hey, time out. Can we do this in English, please? Ha ha!
Yes, for certain. Yes, for certain. The idea that I bring to this commune is that we must restore a single leader.
Yes.
A monarchy of sorts back to France. And in general, the people, they need to be told what to do. And they will benefit from having a grand leader, whether he be king or emperor, whatever is the strongest man. That is who should be leading. It should not be this commune. I'm sorry. It is a silly idea, but we need only to have a hereditary rule.
This was not what we talked about. What do you strive to be, Napoleon? Are you suggesting that we install you as emperor?
Can you think of a better choice than me? I think not.
Well, this was a republic at one point.
Yes. Are you saying that we should go back to the republic?
It is better than the empire. Do you not think so?
Well, I suppose we did talk about this.
You seem to be backtracking a little bit here. I'm not comfortable here now. Hold on. I thought we were on to something there for a second.
I am French. I can change my mind.
Ah, all right. Well, look, how about I have my say then? Look, why don't we, I don't know, create publications that we take out to the masses and ask for them to buy. And if they buy these publications, we will give them a chance to win 1 million francs. All they have to do is enter the sweepstakes. What do you say, Napoleon III? Would that not be a way to unite the people?
You suggest a lottery.
A clearinghouse, if you will, of publishers.
Such a crude idea. Sometimes I wonder why we invite these guys.
I have another idea. Okay, we can't do this clearinghouse of publishers. Maybe anointing a leader from our past or a military leader of some kind. Maybe we do, I don't know, some kind of search for a star from among all of France. A star search, if you will. Have them come to the capital to perform for us, and we can rank them.
What? I search for an étoile? Je suis l'étoile de France.
Star search, I'm saying. Let's do a star search.
But there is no need for a search.
I am a star. I am a star.
My name is Claude. I do paint.
Oh.
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 Oui.
Claude Monet?
You have heard of me. Ah, yes.
Yeah, but of course. I am French.
Fuzzy looking paintings, not very detailed.
That is the point. Oh, mon Dieu. That means my God.
Could use more sharper details.
This is a general. What does he know?
Needs to be a perfect representation, not just an impression.
General, be straight with us. Why are you really here at the Commune? What did you expect to find at the Commune? French ladies, no?
I mean, they are the hottest babes in Europe, are they not? Oh.
This is the best, most correct thing you have said all Commune.
I think we can unite around this.
Mm-hmm.
We could search for a star among the populace, if you will. See if they're willing to subscribe to a magazine in which they would pose in pictures. What do you think? Oh, yes.
The French lady, the dame, is very seductive. Any part of her. That is the way of the French. Mm-hmm.
Do you need a moment, Napoleon?
Oh, yes. Private time for the grandchild of Napoleon. Yes.
Yes. I need very little time. I'm very efficient. I am all finished. It is excellent. Thank you.
Yes.
Claude, do you think maybe you could paint the scenery as we go with this search for the ladies?
On the star search. Yes.
But of course, I get a feeling that it would not be to the standard that the general is looking for.
You mean
Just as long as you do good nipples. It can be fuzzy all around there, as far as I'm concerned.
I can stress the nipple if that is what you want.
Stress it, baby. Yes.
we cut to the studio where the General McMahon is conducting the star search as Claude Monet is painting a fine young lady named Josephine, and a lurking Napoleon III looks on.
Come on in here, Napoleon. Check this out. Look at that.
Allô, mon chéri? Est-ce que tu es d'accord avec le grand jambon, General McMahon?
Please do not disturb my talent here.
Je m'excuse.
Yeah, he might make the lips look a little too fuzzy, huh? Am I right? The lips would be moving, and you couldn't get them just right.
It does not help me to have my pose move.
I just want to get a little bit closer to you. Yes.
I thought that these men, Claude, these men, are they not supposed to be the great leaders of the world? That is how you brought me here. I came to be inspired.
This was the arrangement from the commune.
We're going to put you on some money, baby. We're going to have you pose for some nickels and some dimes and all the money you could think of.
You're going to nickel and dime me?
We're going to wine you and dine you. And we're going to put you on nickels and dimes. You know what I'm saying? Ha ha.
D'accord. But be a gentleman, as you say. Claude, are you almost finished? I am getting very chilly. Why does the general open the windows? It is cold outside.
You're going to want to add some more paint there, if you know what I'm saying. Ha ha.
No. How do the women of the world deal with these men as leaders? Oh, donne-moi mon robe. Oh.
All right. I think we got a good enough picture anyways. Good enough for our money, at least.
Bonsoir. The end. I'm pretty sure I derailed us pretty quick.
It was pretty historically accurate, right? They had Publishers Clearinghouse in France or something like that.
And Star Search.
Star Search. Thanks a lot, guys, for setting me up in that role, by the way. We turned to painting a naked woman, nice. And McMahon is there, leering. Oh, great.
There you go.
I don't know if my wife would be happy with that, but...
She might not be.
Right?
That might have been a little salacious, but that was a lot of fun.
Thanks so much, Ronnie. Till the next time.
Thanks a lot, guys. It was awesome.
And we'll be back with Matt Roberto after this break. And we're back with Matt Roberto. Matt, welcome back to History Improv'ed.
Hey,
Matt.
how's it going, guys?
I hope we didn't break your brain with our version of the Paris Commune.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. I'm laughing my head off.
Oh, good.
missed the mark completely. But I was having a good time when Claude entered the picture as an artist, and things got going. That was that was something else. I was loving it. So yeah, the Paris Commune. It's an event at the tail end of a major war, the Franco-Prussian War. Prussia and France are going to war over a throne position in Spain. And what ends up happening is the different German kingdoms come together and they beat the French army, and Napoleon III has to surrender. And the Republican Paris of very powerful aristocrats and well-to-do are trying to get the militias to fight and risk their lives. And here's these people that have been workers have just been completely oppressed. Aristocracy not paying them. They're starving. They're hungry, eating rats, eating zoo animals. They're looking at things in the sense of trying to survive. And why are we going to risk our lives to help these aristocrats fight off the Prussians? And this is their war. And what they ended up doing is they ended up turning on the French army, and they push them out. And the French army retreats to Versailles. And literally the workers take over and they hold elections, and they create a commune and they call themselves the Communards. And they try to hold on as long as they can. And the French army builds up. Meanwhile, the Prussians are still outside of Paris, and the French army marches in, and they within about 72 days, they fight. And in the end, the commune is squashed and the French army takes over. The treaty is met between Prussia and France and the other German kingdoms, and it ends. But the commune itself, there was so much going on in there while they were independent. They had elections, working as like a socialist group.
So what are the results of both the commune and the war in general?
The results are huge. Eventually, the citizens will get more power from that. Women became very organized and vocal where they weren't before. They started to gain a lot more power in society. They focused on ending child labor. Obviously, the government will take over. The French government will reinstall. It'll be the third French Republic after the second one. and Germany becomes Germany. They unify and become Germany under Bismarck, because Bismarck is the commander for the Germans at this time. So he's going to become a big hero from this. And he unifies them, and they see, and as far as the war is concerned, before the Paris Commune, they could just see how efficient the Germans are with their railways. And even though they're not unified completely yet, they're just so much more advanced. And the French are industrial, and that's what's causing a lot of this, the Paris Commune to rise up. And France has already had a history of the monarchy still being in place and pushback, and Napoleon being a president. And he was the nephew of Napoleon I and the cousin of Napoleon II. And he ends up going from the presidency to emperorship. And then he tries to run with that title. And there is a division there in France between the left and the right, because there's a lot of carryover from the French Revolution to almost 100 years later. And it's almost like an extension, like a sequel in a way. And if you were to look at history episodically like that, like I like to do in classes.
So the Paris Commune itself, was it like a shining example kind of thing for communists, like for a brief moment that they're like, this almost worked if we'd only pushed our advantage?
I think a lot of people look at it, historians look at it, and the people of the time look back on it in the sense of it showed that this is possible. That it kind of takes the romanticism, I don't know if that's the right word, or the royalty away. That's dissolving. It's dissolving even further and further, and it's showing the power of the workers, that they can manage these themselves. They can govern themselves as the world is changing towards industrialism. But you still have capitalism, and you still have an aristocracy that is holding power, and that ultimately is going to win out. But in the end, these rights come about, and French citizens gain more power. Much like in the United States, how citizens will eventually gain more power with the progressive era and then eventually into the New Deal. I think French citizens, maybe not to that extent, but they start to get more and more power socially. The commune is the tail end of this story, but it has a really powerful impact on the things we're facing today, and the division between the rich and the poor and the exploited, and eventually workers having leverage and gaining rights. And it just coincides with the Gilded Age too. There's a lot of tug and pull in history. It's so fascinating that it's all happening at the same time.
What about women in particular?
That's huge.
You said they were very involved. Like, did this supercharge their efforts to gain some political power themselves?
Yeah. They'll advocate for rights, and they'll get those eventually. But they see women's empowerment. They're so vocal. They're big organizers. They're front and center in speaking positions during this commune, and that shows a lot of empowerment there. And they're soldiers. They become soldiers too, and they join in with the National Guard, who's just the French militia.
When you mentioned the women and also the French Revolution, my mind immediately went to the women's march to Versailles.
Yeah, it's so trippy how, because women play such a big role in the revolution with this, and that culture's still there. They're still very present and very forceful and strong, and really in these times of crisis become these key figures, because this is an uprising. It is a revolution. It's a civil war, essentially. And different historians will label it differently: uprising, rebellion, civil war, and revolution for sure. But it's so small. But there's build up to it. There's events that, just like the French Revolution, as it's a series. I think it was Michael Duncan's podcast, series of tornadoes, not like a constant thing like the American Revolution, where it's gradually building and building through battles. It's just these tornadoes of events. And eventually the end one is this end of this war. This commune is this rebellion comes about, and they create a commune and a society, and it's worker based, and they have elections, and they can show they govern themselves. There's no royalty. There's no powerful aristocracy. But it has this major impact on history, not just of France, but the world. It's like, look at all these people getting together, and it's workers, and the idea of self-governance for them
So, Matt, you talked about the actual history that we pretty much missed entirely. Was there anything that we actually got right?
Um, the themes were right, like the idea of worker empowerment. And so Marx and Engels are definitely going to comment on that. They're going to be a little harsh and saying, they should have moved faster against the French and not allowed them to recover, because they had this Prussian army out there and they allowed them to regain themselves to take down the workers. So that's kind of their commentary. I'm sure it goes deeper than that, but its influence was huge later on, obviously, and it will get referenced back quite a bit. General McMahon, he's not leading any militias or workers' armies, but he's going against the workers. The general is the one in the French army who goes against the civilians, and the civilians have two leaders, and eventually they're killed. And of course, the French general, the French win, and he does achieve power, and he does become the president of France eventually.
Now, where is General McMahon from? Is he from Burbank?
he's from. I'm not sure where he's from originally, but he's the states marshal, and then he comes back during this time period, and he is leading the armies. They go in there, and then when he crushes the Paris Commune, of course, makes a political name for himself and becomes the head of state, and then eventually becomes the president for a few years, and then he's done. So that part of achieving what Ronnie's doing is saying, hey, put me in charge. And that's what happens with him. And he would just go in charge. So that part's correct too, is that, you're trying to have all these workers unite, create this worker republic. But in the end, like France's revolutions, they put one person in charge.
And was he the lascivious creep that Ronnie portrayed him as?
And again, he's such a small figure. I mean, it was hard. It's like, oh, come up with characters for this. There's just so many little pieces. They mostly look, because it's a big worker event and there's workers working together. They can cite names, but there's no one that really stands out. And of course, Marx and Engels would be definitely commenting on it because it was happening while they were alive and professing their ideas throughout Germany and England. And they'd already gotten together in 1848 to really talk about communism. But this is like a big event that happens outside of them, but it definitely will get relayed later on in history. And so, yeah, and they have monuments. They have a monument for it. The Sacré-Cœur Basilica there. And again, it's a lot of even Parisians aren't aware of it. And a lot of French citizens don't know, which is pretty common here in the United States with our own history. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, and so it's fascinating. And there is a division there in France between the left and the right, because the people in the conservative movement in France do not like that part of their history. So they definitely try to do what we do in the United States and smooth it out as much as they can.
Well, thanks so much, Matt. Yeah, you've given us a really interesting episode from history and given us a lot to think about after our take on it.
You made it entertaining. I had a great time.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it.
Well, yeah, until next time, let me know and we'll come up with another event.
And that was History Improv'ed. Hope you all enjoyed that. Trent, that was a lot of fun that we had just there.
I really enjoyed it. I did throw a pretty huge curveball right off the bat, though. I got the event entirely wrong.
Oh.
I was close, I thought. I mean, I thought I had it, but I was close because it wasn't the Paris Commune of 1871 that I was thinking of. It was the Hague Congress of 1872. So same general area, short train ride away.
Almost the same year.
Yeah, almost the same year. Missed party date.
And it's still in Europe.
Yeah, still in Europe. I've done that train ride. It's not that long. It's like 3-hour train ride. I used to live in The Hague. That's probably where the bias comes from.
Right.
And the first character I portrayed was actually Mikhail Bakunin. He was a very grumpy anarchist who was trying to foment revolution in Russia. He did go to the Congress of 1872.
And was he staying at the International Hotel?
Yeah, another thing that was very confusing. I'm sure a lot of people that were listening were thinking, why does he keep talking about this hotel? The International was kind of like, think of the Teamsters, but for communists.
Right. And my Karl Marx, being Russian for some reason, he's actually German, but he talked about that a lot. He talked about the International.
Yes, he did, and I thought that was a quite reasonable mistake to make. Everyone thinks of Karl Marx, they think, yeah, that communism guy. Communism, right. Russia.
Exactly, yeah. But improv brain strikes again.
As it always does.
And Matt was just, again, an absolute joy to have on. And I want to sit in his classroom now. I'll just say it. I'm jealous of his students.
Me too. I think we should just do it. I think we should just show up. We could be like those guys that they stand there and make sure nobody's cheating. What are they called? Proctors?
I've never gone to a school that had a proctor, but we can call ourselves proctors. It sounds important.
It does. Yeah. What we could do, though, is we call it auditing, right? You audit a class.
Right. Yeah. Bring pipes and...
Yeah, and the leather elbows on those tweed jackets make you a distinguished gentleman of the Sherlock Holmesian sort. Yeah.
So have you ever had a tweed jacket with leather elbows? Let us know at hello@historyimproved.com. It's spelled historyimproved.com. To find out more about us, check out our website at historyimproved.com, also spelled historyimproved.com.
And if you like what you're hearing, subscribe, rate, review, and share it.
So for Trent Edwards, I'm Steve Fate, and don't forget to support your local historical society. Yeah.
Go for it.
All right. I'm in a different place, and also not emotionally, actually physically.
Ronnie Shomo, he was... Sorry, did you hear that ding?
No. So... I didn't change
my diaper.
I'll be right back.
Yes, another fun and interesting event from Matt. I have a feeling he will never fail to wait.
I don't think there's any word that you could have used starting with dis that could have been good.
Let me try real quick. It's an improv challenge. I have a feeling Matt will never fail to deceive the listeners who think he won't be amazing.